Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper 1 and welcome to Boots on the Ground. If you have anything you could offer, send it to Southern Prepper 1, Southern Prepper just the number 1, at yahoo.com. Let's get right into it. Heard from a farmer friend in Kansas that they were turning their crops under due to the drought. Total loss in many areas, but things in Kentucky look better. Kentucky crops, corn, soybeans, rated 70% good to excellent. This person says, as part of my job, I'm expected to call emergency services in other areas of the country at times. They're usually individuals who cannot call for themselves, stroke, suicide, etc. And this person is some type of trauma nurse that she deals with people on the phone. I had to call for an EMS on a life-threatening issue for someone yesterday. I was calling for someone in a western state on the coast. I was put on hold for 20 minutes before the dispatcher answered me. I cannot imagine what is going on if we are expecting individuals to wait that long just to get call for help. What if it had some type of police issue, like being attacked or robbed? What happened if the person died before help arrived? I just saw the national news tonight that there's a dispatcher shortage in my area. Low pay, overtime, stress of the job, and rude callers are listed as many of the common issues for high turnover. I can attest for that. The amount of rude callers we have gotten has significantly increased in my employment, since the start of the pandemic. We get many callers with unreasonable expectations, beginning their calls with screaming at us, vulgar talk, etc. I have days that I get no calls, but sometimes it's between 1 and 5. I keep reminding myself that I don't know their entire life situation, but hopefully I can brighten up their day in the end. This is a week after the world coin was introduced, and this is Kenya. They put a stop to it. On Wednesday, the African nation's interior minister suspended use of the world coin orbs to gather iris scans in exchange for digital IDs and some cryptocurrency. So basically, they're going to pay you to get this information. They intend to fully investigate what the company is really doing with the data that it's gathering. The project, founded by OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, launched last week. It requires users to give their iris scan in exchange for digital IDs and some free crypto. I think they were giving them the equivalent of $49 in US money. So they're put a stop to this, which is great. Hopefully all the other countries can do this. They did sign up, though, already 350,000 people from Kenya. As you probably heard, they unsealed the federal criminal indictments against Donald Trump. There's 4 counts. The 4 counts are conspiracy to defraud the U.S. government, conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding, obstruction of an attempt to obstruct an official proceeding, and conspiracy against rights. CVS is laying off about 5,000 employees, and it's a cost-cutting effort. It will occur, though, with non-customer facing positions, so people behind the scenes. So hopefully it won't affect customer service. But 5,000 people is a lot of people. I'm getting more and more reports of people worried about their jobs, saying they see a slowdown, they're not working as much, they're having to be sent home for days off. Global debt has gone up 80 times. 80 times. 4 trillion in 1971. It was 4 trillion. This is actual physical debt. It is now 325 trillion. So that's 80 times increase. And that's pretty much in my lifetime. NATO member Poland says it's building up its troops along its border because an incident between Belarus, 2 Belarusian helicopters violated Poland's airspace on Tuesday. They flew inside of Poland. So the NATO members have been notified, and Poland is moving some troops and equipment to the border. The reason I don't think they picked it up on radar is they said it was flying too low. Actually, people saw it, then reported it to police, which then the police reported it to the military. Belarus said that the defense minister immediately denied Poland's charge, suggesting it is a far-fetched provocation meant to justify a buildup of NATO forces near Belarus. So, I don't know what really happened. Even looking at video, I don't know where that video was filmed. Was it over Belarus? So, just this means more tension and more chaos going to follow. This happened in Smithtown, New York. It's a sad story, and I'm only telling you this just to help everyone remind you. If you have small children, do not forget to take them out of the car seat wherever you go. A 14-month-old girl died after her grandmother left her unattended in a hot car in New York for 8 hours. So, grandmother was supposed to drop the toddler off at daycare, did not. Went to work. 8 hours later, the grandma actually physically drove to the daycare center to pick her up and didn't know the child was still in the back seat. The child perished. So just to bring awareness of this, 40 children die of heat stroke in the United States every year after being left in a trapped car. One person died and more than 50 people were injured, and I think 8 seriously injured, in a bus rollover at the Grand Canyon in Arizona on Tuesday morning. You probably all heard of the incandescent light bulb ban that Biden administration is pushing. So you're going to have to go to more expensive LEDs. But they don't like your light bulbs. They don't like your gas stove. They don't like a lot of things. And their position, if they don't like it, is they ban it. Hello, I'm from rural central Pennsylvania. We make cabinet doors and cabinets for manufacturing and mobile home builders. My company specifically makes the cabinet doors. Usually during the summer months, we work 10 hours a day, then typically slow down to 8 over the winter. We seldom miss hours, but even after having a layoff, we are missing most Fridays with no work. Many of the older folks that work here, that were here during the 2008 financial crisis, said that this is much worse. Even in those days, they worked full days in the summer. I do not believe my company will survive the winter. You've probably heard that Fitch downgraded the U.S. credit rating from a triple A to an AA+. This is big news. Anytime that you get downgraded as a company, anytime you want to borrow money after that, it usually costs you more because of the risks associated with it. The Department of Treasury issued a public message, and they do this all the time. You can go on their website and see what they put out. But they said they announced its current estimate of privately held net marketing borrowing for July through October, and that would be for the quarter, definitely went up. They had to borrow 1.007 trillion, and this was definitely an increase, much higher than they thought they would have to borrow. And this was probably due to lack of revenue coming in for taxes and the huge amount of money that's just costing them because of the interest rates. Treasurer Janet Yellen, after Fitch downgraded them, came out with a statement, and she strongly disagrees with them. And she gives all the reasons why. And it was basically low employment, the Biden administration is making great strides in improving the economy, and on and on and on. I won't bore you with the details. But all of it's hogwash when you put in perspective the amount of money that the U.S. needs to borrow daily just to keep us going. If you don't follow the Treasury bills, the 3-month Treasury, 2-year, 5-year, 10-year, 30-year Treasury, these are, when the government needs to raise money, they issue these Treasury bonds or Treasury bills, and people buy them. Now, you need to get people to buy them, and by getting people to buy them, they offer the interest on them. And the interest is going up, 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 and up. This means that people don't want them. So the 30-year Treasury is way over 4% now. The 3-month Treasury is over 5%. So anytime the government's going to borrow money now, it's a minimum of over 4%. So that is why they downgraded us, and one of the reasons. I hope you've been following oil. Oil prices, Western Texas Intermediate is over about $82. Brent crude is about $84.53, and that is why gas prices is going up. Another reason is the U.S. crude stockpile just saw a huge drawdown last week. Inventories plunged, I think, 15.4 million barrels. So there's less inventory to draw from, and that just creates a higher price. The BRICS summit is coming up, and it'll be in South Africa next month. It will be very exciting to see if Russian President Putin attends, because you remember he has an International Criminal Court has issued an arrest warrant for him. Now, South Africa is part of the International Court. They're part of the international community, so they would be sort of forced to arrest him and enforce this. So I am very eager to see if Putin just says no, if South Africa says, okay, we will not arrest him. Many African countries are trying to join this organization, and this would be Egypt, Ethiopia, Zimbabwe, Algeria, Nigeria, Sudan, Tunis, and the list goes on. Also, there's many countries in Latin America that wants to join it, and also countries in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Belarus, Iran, Mexico, Syria, Turkey, Venezuela, and the list goes on and on. So, as we progress and more countries join BRICS, it is going to mean the dollar is going to slowly become not needed. And as it becomes not needed, its value will die. So that is why we're prepping. We're prepping for all these uncertainties, from a tornado, a natural disaster, or an economic collapse. So keep prepping. Thanks for watching.